What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Real Reds, talking authentic football fan channel made in Manchester. Welcome to the Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? I don't even know. Let me double check. I'm sat there saying welcome to the Wednesday after. It's Wednesday, just double checking. Wednesday afternoon show, 12:30. Plenty of topics to sink our teeth into. Ugarte medical being done as we speak right now. The transfer window, is it complete? Is it complete, or will we see a late shot from your Sterling Sancho swap deal? Some stuff going on about that. Some rumours going about on Twitter. Rio Ferdinand posting cryptic emojis again, similar to when he did with Cristiano, which is obviously not signalling Ronaldo's coming back. That would be a surprise, wouldn't it, in that sense? So we'll talk about that. Amrabat on his way to another club, so that pretty much rules out his move, although I think the majority of us thought it weren't going to happen anyway. Lazio said last night, again, put out there that Victor Lindelof, Lazio was interested in this player and could make a late move for him. And then we've had some kind of nonsense about Ivan Toney and a couple of other players. So get involved in the comment section, get your opinions in. This is live and we are in action, and we're going to discuss loads of stuff. Happy to be here. Solo show today. But yeah, sometimes I like these. It's a bit more intimate. I can really give my opinion. You know, sometimes when I'm hosting, it's more, what do you guys think? And I kind of sit back and assess and, kind of bit of glue in that sense. But on the solo shows, I can really give my opinion, dive deep into it, and then interact with you guys. So, just on Ugarte, medical should be complete at any point today. Obviously, barring nothing goes wrong, but the guy is an absolute monster in terms of fitness. So I think he'll be absolutely fine. The big question is with Ugarte is, some people are asking, will he be able to start against Liverpool on Sunday? If he gets his medical done today, he'll train with the team tomorrow, and then he'll probably have another training session Friday, I would say. Early Friday, late Friday. And then obviously the manager will be asked about it in the press conference. And obviously deadline day is Friday as well, right? I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, I think that press conference is going to be very, very juicy, and he's going to be asked a lot of questions. So I'm interested to see how he responds to those kind of questions. But I would go out on a whim and say he's at least going to be on the bench. Definitely won't start, in my opinion, but he will feature on the bench. Now, what will his shirt number be? There's another question for you with this Ugarte deal. We've discussed what kind of player he is, how he would suit Manchester United, what we think about the fee, his age profile, why PSG are getting rid of him, etc., 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 etc. But these kind of questions are the ones where the deal's done now, and we discuss, who's, what's it going to be like playing against this guy, and what's this, will he be on the bench for Sunday? Will he start straight from the bat? And what will his shirt number be? So I had a little look into this. His favoured options are not available. He wore the number 15 shirt at Sporting Lisbon and the number 4 shirt at PSG. But the new signings in Lenny Yoro and Matthias De Ligt have both taken those numbers, so they are not available anymore. He also wears the number 5 for Uruguay on a regular basis, but Harry Maguire wears number 5 to us, so he's obviously not going to get that. And the only number that's available below 20 is 19, I think. Unless Eriksen moves. If Christian Eriksen moves, 14 becomes available. But it looks like Ajax are cooling their interest in him. Oh, they're not cooling their interest. They still like the player, but they just can't afford 5 million, apparently. Which is, I'm sure they just sold someone for 5 million. But anyway, we hear this a lot from loads of clubs. So we're looking at either maybe 19, maybe 14, if there's a surprise that Christian Eriksen goes. Or maybe even Facundo Palistri's number, which is number 28. Fellow Uruguayan. Maybe there's something in that. I don't know. You do see sometimes people have sentimental numbers. I think, what's Trent, like 66 or something? Like a very bizarre number. Some people don't give a shit about numbers. Mainly was like, he got asked, why are you number 36? And he just went, I don't know, because I just got given the shirt. Some people are really not fussed about it. Some people are like absolutely adamant, and I want that number. I have to have that number. Very, very superstitious. So let us know your thoughts in the chat. What number you think Ugarte is going to get. I'm going to talk about the transfer window and our business basically being done bar the swap deal in a minute. So I'll get onto that in a moment. Robert Nisaya saying Man United will not sign Amrabat. Yep, touched on that. Dan saying I'd rather sign Amrabat than Sterling. Elite Paul is saying, sup big boy. Hello everyone, hello. I hope you're well. People who are watching behind the camera, there's a little touchdown for you, so I hope you're all good. And anyone who's joining, please do smash the like on the video for us. Do we actually think he's going to start or maybe play 10-15 minutes? I think so. I think 10-15 minutes, probably. You see that, don't you, usually, even when a player's coming back from from injury, unless it's Bruno Fernandes or something. He tends to kind of, you've seen it with De Ligt. What's De Ligt got, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes? Xerxes got 30 minutes, I think, and then did he come on straight away in the second half? So that's 45 minutes. He likes to do it in small kind of increments, bringing these players on. Should switch Ahmad to 19 and Ugarte to 16. Roy Keane vibes. I say Ugarte will get number 19 shirt. Doesn't matter what number. Can't wait to see Ugarte play. Yeah, I get that. I'm like that as well. Look, if it doesn't matter what number he plays, as long as he's in a red shirt and he's eating up ground and he's destroying midfielders, that is all I give a shit about realistically. But yeah, it's a nice cherry on top of the transfer window that we've already brought in. So obviously everyone already knows the business that we've done. Xerxes, Euro, De Ligt, Mazraoui and Ugarte. That's a pretty fucking good window. So get your thoughts in on that. The first window under INEOS. Has it surprised you? Because what this show is going to be, it's going to be more of a conversation than me just splurting out my opinion. I want to get a bit of an interaction here. So yeah, thoughts on the first window. Has it genuinely surprised you? Or did you kind of expect this level of professionalism from INEOS? And also, there are still some people who are saying that we've had a shit window. Still, obviously, majority being rival fans. I mean, you go on TikTok, they're absolutely everywhere. Kind of salty Liverpool fans because you've only signed 2 players or whatever. One of them being basically just an injury waiting to happen in Chiesa, but who knows, maybe it'll turn out to be a good signing for him. I don't know why United didn't even, I'm not saying they should have done the deal, but at least think about that and saying, well, you've got Chiesa, so pay us some cash and we'll take Chiesa. Or so something along the lines of that. It just that never made sense to me. But yeah, do you think we got good deals? Did we do well on outgoings, or was you expecting more? Could they have done any more? And I think a lot of people forget as well with Dan Ashworth and Omar Barada, they didn't come in really until mid-July, was it? I think, particular Omar Barada. I'm looking at Newcastle fans now and their accounts at their fan channels and stuff. And they're putting out fucking shocking transfer window, awful, and blah, blah, blah. And I remember when Dan Ashworth was on gardening leave and was making all these kind of jokes, and he was like, well, using a mug for taking him because Eddie Howe didn't get along with him, and now he's going to you guys, he's got no loyalty, and blah, blah, blah. And we probably, I would go as far to say, correct me if I'm wrong and challenge it if you want, United have had the best window out of anyone, I think. I think West Ham are up there. On paper, the signings that they've made are good. Aston Villa's made some good, really good additions. City haven't bought anyone. Arsenal bought Calafiore and not Zubimendi, who's the other geezer called? Oh, it's going to Moreno in the midfield. Pretty good signings, but 2 signings, players they needed in that respect. So I'm not downplaying that. Chelsea, again, it's one of those you look at the game against Wolves and you like the players they brought in. My God, they're dangerous. The amount of individual talent that they have. But it is still a bit of a shit show, so I don't even want to bring Chelsea into that. And then you can go down, Brighton have done some really good business, for sure. But I look at Lenny Yoro, that for me was the start of something where you go, United would never, ever do those kind of deals before, under the previous regime. Do you think John Murtaugh and Richard Arnold would be able to get that deal over the line? They would still be in France right now, and we would probably be doing a live show on how they're messing this deal up and they've dragged it on for 12 weeks and we end up paying 70 million for Euro. That's what would have happened under the previous regime. So I think we had to pay over the odds a little bit slightly for Lenny Yoro, simply because Madrid interest was concrete and was there, but they was hoping to get him on a little bit of a cheaper fee and a bit of a lower deal, or maybe a free when he leaves Lille. And United are like, we'll pay a lot of money. We want him right now. But if you want to do the deal, it's got to be done this week. Get him in, bing bang bosh, put pressure on it. If you don't want to come, and Lille like, oh God, yeah, please, Lenny, look, great opportunity to go here, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, the first couple of weeks pre-season didn't really work out because he got that big injury, but he'll be back in November. And you don't want to over-egg it because you've only seen him in pre-season. I have seen clips for Lille as well. I think he looks like an extremely promising centre-back, and I don't think it's going over the top saying that he could be one of the best centre-backs in the world later on when he, in his career, when he gets to 26, 28, if he develops the way we think he is. Because you look at his stature, you look at how good he is on the ball, you look at his recovery pace, how good he is 1v1, fucking stars are the limit with that kid. So great signing first and foremost. You bring him in. Joshua Xerxes is a profile. I remember doing a show 4 months ago, I want to say, about, what kind of player do we want to bring in? Do we want to bring in someone who's experienced, like an Ivan Toney, or maybe like a Fulkrug, to kind of play his part, but also let Rasmus develop? Or do we want to bring in a youngster to kind of compete with Rasmus? Or do we want someone who's going to complement him and bring in someone who's different? You know, Højlund's a channel runner. He likes to get in behind. He's strong, physical. Xerxes technically brilliant. You know, with players like him, the ball stick to your feet, and it's a lot easier to retain possession. So bringing him in, I think, was really good. I think he's actually looked decent. You know, he's going to be a slow burner, but I think he'll get a good few goal contributions this season. I think he'll open up space as well for other attacking players. So I think that for 34 million or something along the lines of that, I think that's a pretty good deal. Obviously, there was agent fees involved in that as well. Was probably rising up to 40, but I mean, the guy's probably worth 40 million anyway. What is he, 23 years old? Again, you've seen the same consistent patterns with these players in terms of age range, so fantastic. And then we discussed Matthäus de Ligt and Masraoui, which are ones that most people were kind of not slagging off, but was like, oh, it's 10 Hag players again and blah, blah, blah. But when actually you do your due diligence and your research, United have been looking at de Ligt for like 7 years, even before Ten Hag arrived at the club. So they always appreciated him as a player. Masraoui may be slightly different, but because he was seen as a backup right back at the time to Diego Dalot, but obviously Shaw got injured again, people weren't too fussed about that. But he's come in and he's hit the ground running. And again, he's another player similar to Xerxes who technically profound, really, really good. In tight spaces, navigates, offers solutions, and it's just an instant upgrade on Wan-Bissaka going forward. And then you finish that with Manuel Ugarte, who you need a destroyer in the midfield. Casemiro's legs are going. Maybe sometimes you could play them in a double pivot together. You know, you want a bit more attacking threat, let's say. Maybe you play Ugarte, Mainu, and Bruno. But there are options there to rotate and switch. And I think there's a long-term plan there. I don't think... I'll get into the comments in a moment. I'm not just, like I say, just exploiting my opinion. But I think Ugarte as a signing initially is good for this season. Out of everyone who's available on the market, you look at his volume, his output in tackles, interceptions, ball recoveries, all that kind of stuff. It's absolutely top-level elite. But there are a couple of concerns in his game where under pressure sometimes he makes the wrong decision. He gets a bit of a nosebleed when he gets into the final third. There are some concerns with him. He's not an absolute perfect player, but he's a good signing for now. He's 23. You've probably still got a resale value there. And a lot of clubs wanted him before he went to PSG. And the only reason why Luis Enrique doesn't use him in games is because he likes Vitinha. And he has Fabian Ruiz. And he has Zachary Emery, is it? I think, the young midfielder. And he likes deep line playmakers. Sit deep, dictate the tempo. You know, Ugarte is just aggressive. Mascherano, Gattuso, you know, get at him. That's what type of player Gattuso. That's what type of player Ugarte is. So, look, he's still got his deficiencies, but I think it's a good signing. I still think next season, you still need that big investment in the midfield. Who that's going to be, not entirely sure, but, you know, the market always offers opportunities, doesn't it? So, I think... player profiles considered, the amount of money that we spent, the outgoings, I think that's a pretty solid window from INEOS, and I'm pretty impressed. But then again, when you look at it, the benchmark is so low. Do you remember the season with, was it Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when we brought in, was it Donny van der Beek, Cavani, and Hannibal? Was it? I can't remember. Someone remind me, someone will know in the chat. A shocking window. And everyone was like, we've spent 40 million. And they went, what the fuck is going on? Now, if you look at our net spend, we've only spent about 90 million this thing, but it's because we've sold really well. So it doesn't look as bad on the books. And we sold a lot of academy players. So, yeah. Right. Let's get into the comments then. I'm not ignoring you people. Let's see what we're saying. Brighton up there as well. That's from Jonathan. Absolutely. My Damned United saying best window in a decade for sure. Yeah, I think, I mean, if anyone wants to bring up some years where we've done a better window, please do. I know when we brought in Sancho, Ronaldo, and Varane, everyone was losing the shit because we finished second the season before. It was like, we're going to go win a title. But if you look at how them signings turned out, the way Ronaldo fizzled out, even though it was a romantic fairy tale of a story, the way Sancho's turned out, was still trying to move him on. And Varane's obviously left with his injuries concerns, but he was really good when he was available. That window, you can't even look at that, to be honest. Euro is overpaid by Man United. As I understand it, Euro was 42 million with like 15 in add-ons or 12 in add-ons or something. If he achieves those add-ons, it's going to be worth every single penny. You know, De Ligt in for 40 as well. You've seen how much centre-backs are going. You know, Crystal Palace rejected was it a 65 million bid from Newcastle for Mark Guéhi. Everton was standing firm, 75 mil for Branthwaite. We've just got De Ligt at half the price. And Euro for less as well. But he's a prospect. He's an enormous talent, Euro. And people have slagged Euro off, but I'm not really asked about that. I think he's a good talent. Rocky Singh says, signing Sterling will be excellent business, but I prefer to keep Sancho. Also, I believe United looking to loan out Antony. Now, you've just sparked a memory. There was some stuff going about last night. Liverpool just had a here we go, by the way, on Chiesa, 13 million euros. That, if he stays fit, that's a fantastic signing, but it's a big if. But anyway, Rio Ferdinand put, I don't know if anyone saw it, a cryptic emoji on X last night. Again, similar to what he did with Ronaldo. And then we had, I know some people don't like him, but Mark Goldbridge, he does have good ties in with the club, despite what people say, and I know they don't like him. I'm trying to find the thing that he put. Something about the Sterling deal. Let me pull it up. He put, INEOS look like they're about to pull a worldie off on this Sancho deal, ... So what that means, I don't know. There's a lot of speculation. You know, if they get a fee, let's say they get a fee and Sterling on top of that, I mean, that is pulling Chelsea's pants down. And that's maybe the best solution. Or maybe they're going, right, you know what, Juventus, you don't have to have an obligation to buy him, but the loan fee that we're going to charge is going to be extortionate. You're going to get charged 10 million or something along the lines of that. And I actually said this to Sam on a show yesterday. I said, why don't we? If you were struggling to sell Sancho from the start, and it seemed as a player who's going to fit the plans, you charge a loan fee, an extortionate loan fee each year, like Atletico Madrid did, with João Felix. What was it, like 8 to 10 million? You do that a couple of times, you've already recouped half the money anyway, and then you're not paying his wages. So at least you get something back. Do you know what I'm saying? Rather than just going on a free and then that's it. But yeah, I don't know. I think something crafted. Like I said, the title of the show, United transfer window over. Now the swap deal is one of those I didn't expect it. No one else expected it. It is what it is. If it happens, it happens. But apart from that, I don't see us bringing anyone else in. I would be absolutely, surprised if anyone else did come in. Ugarte should be signed end of today. Sterling will go to the last minute. Yeah, I think that's a Friday thing. Mara says, kindly get these two lads, Amrabat and Ivan, then we set to go. Muppeteers literally said, business is done. United can spend another 16 mil, but then it messes our budget up for next summer. Getting Sancho off the books saves 16 million and goes towards next summer as well. I feel relief from the senior players we have bought and excitement from the 16, 18-year-old prospects we've signed. Then we consider the players we've cleared out. You've just got to applaud it. Great comment there from My Damn United. And take Crashford. Okay. Someone going on Rashford for absolutely no reason. The only two I can think of regenerating excitement was the window of Rude and Veron, and then the 2008 one of Anderson, Nani, Hargreaves, and Tevez. Yeah, great shouts there, Jonathan. Absolutely up there. But this one, I mean, 5 players, all under the age of 25. Your net spend is 100 mil in total, and you managed to get rid of probably about 10 players, double figures. And then that's the best window for a long, long time. So I'm super, super happy with that. It's just, let's see how the season goes now, innit? It's like we sit here and, when the whole debate was going on about Erik ten Hag last season, even after the FA Cup final, and there was back and forth and people saying we shouldn't keep him, we should keep him. He hasn't been backed. Look at the structure above him. All that completely wiped clean now. Every last bit of it, because you've got a proper footballing structure above you. You've got Jason Wilcox, you've got Dan Ashworth and Omar Barada, who top level at operating in those positions. So no excuses in that sense. Also, you've been fully backed with the players that have been brought in. And now you've got enough at your disposal. You've got 2 in every area. And decent level as well, especially when Euro comes back and Shaw comes back, if he can stay fit. And you've got Rasmus Højlund's come back into that team. So if you don't get top 4 and at least challenge for a trophy this season, if it looks like it's not looking great, as Castillo says, it's not looking good, big man. Big man thing, yeah. If by December it's not looking good, then you can fully criticise him. If we're fucking 8th in the table, we've been knocked out a couple of cups, the football's still very open and we're conceding shitloads of goals, then I will sit there and say, this manager ain't the guy. And what will probably happen is they'll probably look at Ruud van Nistelrooy until the end of the season and then assess it in the summer. That would not surprise me this season whatsoever. But hey, it's still early doors. Let's see. Shreyas the smart in the house. Up you well, bud. Oh, Shreyas is in the house. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through the comments. Looks like we'll be looking for 2 centre-backs next season, all ready to replace Maguire, Lindelof and Evans, leaving for 3. I tend to believe the Muppeteers, in all honesty. Yeah, look, I'm not discrediting Muppeteers. He's on the show literally tomorrow, so we'll get into depth about that with him. What I also want to discuss with him as well, Goldbridge put a tweet out about him today about, what was it? It was like re-quoting what Muppeteers had said about Tenag wanted to keep McTominay and, what was it? Saying that Wilcox wanted Ugarte and there was a bit of a disagreement, and Goldbridge basically saying, you know, it's bollocks and blah, blah, blah and all that kind of stuff. So I definitely want to ask him about that. But just the window in general, how he feels about it. You know, he was a big INEOS kind of backer before he even came in. Got a lot of shit for it from Qatari fans and online fans. But look, they've done well, man. So I'm sure he'll be happy. We're happy as fans. And now we're ready to really kickstart the season. 1 win, 1 loss in first 2 games. Not ideal, but we've got Liverpool next on Sunday, and that's a massive game. So, yeah, make sure you please smash a like on the video for us. We've got more stories to talk about. I'm not going just yet. So, yeah, there's been loads of yous in the chat. Please do leave a like. Let us know you appreciate the content. Subscribe to the channel. We're on 6,662. If we get 4 more subs, we'll be on 6,666, and that is an omen in itself. So, yeah, let's see. Let's see if we can do it. Joshua Owen saying this is a season that we should find out if Ten Hag is the right man for the job or should be sacked with the backing from INEOS. Exactly. Exactly that. Also, just to the members, because there's quite a few of you in the chat, I'm doing a video today on Sterling versus Rashford and a comparison with our current wingers as well. So there's going to be some stats in there. There's going to be some pros and cons, why Sterling would fit, why he might not. Jadon Sancho, why he suits Chelsea more than he suits Man United, and why Maresca may potentially want him, and why this could be Rashford's last season. So that's getting filmed today for you members. You get early access to that, and yeah, then going forward. You missed my comment, Nick. Look, Dan, with the greatest respect, mate, I can't read out every single comment or I'll be here all day. Your comments are going to get missed sometimes, unfortunately, just the way it is. So, yeah. Right, Amrabat, Lindelof, late moves. Negotiations underway between Fenerbahce and Fiorentina for Sofyan Amrabat. 2 million loan fee and a 12 million euro mandatory buy clause offered. Fiorentina want more. Talks continue as Amrabat also received an approach from Everton today. We've got Lazio late move for Lindelof as well. So, yeah, Amrabat was one that's just been very, very quiet for a long, long time. We had the initial news, I want to say about a month ago, from Romano saying that INEOS don't want to pay what Fiorentina are asking for. Maybe they'll negotiate the price. And then we had bits coming out that, you know, they're not really a fan of the player and they don't believe he's a fit, although Ten Hag likes the player. So that deal I never thought would happen anyway. Amrabat's just Men in Black. You know, we'll always remember the last 4... Was it the last 4 performances or 3 performances at the end of last season? Because he was pretty shit against Brighton, was it? But then he was good against Arsenal, good against Newcastle, and then good in the final, I think, wasn't he? Against Man City. So I'll always remember them 3, and he did a job in that final. He's won an FA Cup whilst he's been here, so his journey's been well worth it, I'd say, and that's probably why he wanted to stay, because he saw the project that's ongoing at United, and he's like, ooh, I'd like this, but not to be, not to be. As for Victor Lindelof, you know, if Lazio go for him, again, we're not going to get a lot of money for him because he's got 1 year left on his deal. So Lazio, we're going to make a shitty bid, I imagine, towards the end of the window, like a £5 million bid or £6 million bid. To be honest, I'd rather just keep him and let him go for free because I think as backup, Lindelof ain't too bad. You know, I'd rather have Lindelof as backup coming in the team than Johnny Evans because if Maguire and De Ligt gets injured, it's going to be Evans coming in. I'd rather Lindelof come in alongside Sancho. And they're saying he can cover at left back and right back, but I think that's absolute nonsense in my opinion. I think that's absolute nonsense because he's crap. I remember the game against Atletico Madrid under Ragnick when he played right back, and I was absolutely clawing my eyes out saying, what on earth are we doing here? Why is it? And that's where their goal came from. I think their left back Lode put a cross in for João Felix and he scored. And I was like, never ever do I want to see that again. And then last season we saw him at left back. You're like, oh, Jesus Christ, man. So no, I don't want to see him as a backup there, but I would rather keep him because what are they going to spend 7 mil on now or 6 million on? It's not going to go on anything, is it? So yeah, I'd rather keep him personally, but what do you guys think? Right, let's have a look. How about a swap deal? Leroy Sané, Kimmich, and Sancho, no fees. Well, there's no interest from buying on the player. Leroy Sané, I assume, wants to stay at Bayern Munich, and Joshua Kimmich, that's way too much of a difficult deal to do. 39 watching, only 18 likes, with 51 current viewers at the moment. So do subscribe if you're new and hit that like button and get your opinions in. Nick, how many ferrets do you own? 0. Although I have 3 cats. That are mine, at least. Not seeing Richard on here in a while. Hope the guy's okay. Oh, yeah, shit. That's a good point, now. Where is Richard? If anyone knows him, contact him. Richard, if you're watching this later, buddy, I hope you're okay. I've not heard from Richard in a while. And Steph's not in the chat either. I always feel weird when, when you see the regulars that are in the chat and you don't see the names, you're like, ugh. Yeah, it feels a bit weird. Hope everyone's well in general, by the way. Not just that. Right. Should we talk about this Ivan Toney nonsense? Because we had someone from Standard Sport by the name of Malik Uzia, okay, who put earlier on today, Man United have held initial talks with Brentford over a late deal for Ivan Toney, but securing a move to Chelsea remains the forward's priority ahead of the transfer deadline. And then we had Alex Crook coming out from TalkSport saying Manchester United have not held talks over Ivan Toney. The club's budget is spent after completing the Manuel Ugarte deal. Now, if your fire's getting put out by Alex Crook, of all people, who I like to call Alex Crooked, if your fire's being put out by him, you are, like, not even... You can't be considered a journalist, in my opinion. I think the guy who put it out about Ivan Toney earlier on this morning is like, this doesn't mean he's not credible, but usually journalists with a big following who are accurate a lot of the times, they're well-known. This guy's not well-known at all. I never heard of the guy, and he's putting this stuff out. So for all I know, it could be like that Qatar, the Qatar story that came out from the kid in Wales in his bedroom, who said the deal's done, and then fucking stock prices went absolutely mad and all that kind of shit. So, yeah, the Ivan Toney thing, I thought when we had Laurie Whitwell, I think it was start of August or end of July, and he was coming out and he was saying, Ivan Toney, Calvert-Lewin, keep an eye on him. If there's a budget, towards the end of the window, let's do it. Well, they might do it. Sorry, not let's do it. He don't decide the transfers, does he? So I was like, keep an eye on it. Could potential if we do well on outgoings. But now it's just like it's not going to fit in the budget whatsoever. You actually saw with the Ugarte deal, I know we've brought it down slightly to like 42 with 8 in add-ons, but them 8 in add-ons are very achievable, I believe. We was on that deal for about a month, I think, because we agreed personal terms with him ages ago. So were they negotiating just that, or did they have a bit of a cash problem? And because as soon as McTominay went, you saw it straight away. Yeah, right, let's do the Ugarte deal. Let's get this through. So they was waiting for that cash to balance the books for that to come in. So maybe that's what they was, why it was dragging on so long. Because as soon as that happened, it was like, yeah, Ugarte's in now. I know he's going to do his medical and stuff. So I do think the reason why the show is called End of the Transfer Window is because I genuinely feel like that. You've got more and more news coming out now. Juventus are betting everything on Jadon Sancho now that Chiesa's joining Liverpool. Should Jadon Sancho leave United, the club would like to bolster their attack. That's from Pete Hall. Loads of stuff going on about Jadon Sancho in a minute. So this is one that's just going to keep going and going and going and going until the very end of the window. And there could be some surprises in there. So put on your seatbelt, people. Put on your seatbelt. And for the last, let's do a 10-minute Q&A, because there's quite a few of you in the chat. So if anyone's got any questions, football-related, non-football-related, transfer-related, whatever it is, even if you're not a Man United fan and you're watching right now, get your opinions in or get your questions in. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, I'll go to the comments. Kenan Yildiz for Sancho. I have to be honest with you, Alex. Never seen the guy play. I heard of the name. Turkish striker, is it? I'm not sure. I've heard of the name. I'm pretty sure it was the Euros, but I couldn't tell you. I'd rather Lindelof than Evans as backup. I think we've done all our business now. I'll be happy with what we've got if we don't get anyone else. Elite Ballers says, I'm going to guess the name of your cats. Tupac, Eric, and Meatballs. Not bad names, to be fair. Tupac. I have got Tupac. I don't know why that's why I said I've got Tupac tattooed on me. I don't know if you can see that there. That's a great name, to be fair. Eric, I'm not sure why, if you're going for Eric Cantona there or Eric Ten Hag. No, the names are Skittles, Bruno, obviously, and Lola. They're the name of the cats. Bruno, because of Bruno Fernandes. There's always going to be a football reference in there. I'm going to guess... Oh, sorry, I read that out. Obviously. What is Rashford and Anthony's values right now? Rashford, I would say... I mean, I say this in the video that I'm going to do for members today. The value, Rashford's 60 million, 50, 60 million, I would say. Last year I said like 70, 80, but his value's dropped. He's got a year old though. He's still in poor form. But I still think he offers something, the potential of what he can do at the highest level, and also the brand that he brings with him as well. You know, if he was to go to a PSG, for example, I think we'd at least demand 50, 60. And in terms of Anthony, 20 million, probably, I'd say. Yeah, I think a team would take him for 20 million. Yeah, it's a bit restricted for socials on YouTube as far as I can tell. What's that? Don't know people going through. Many need someone and maybe suffering alone. Makes my heart ache, man. I don't know what's happened or what's going on, but whoever it is who's suffering or who needs help, yeah, speak to people, man. That's what I always say. You know, even you guys, whoever's watching now might watch this show and might see the lads on the channel and think, oh, they're always bubbling, happy and popping off and blah, 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 and always inactive. But that's 30 minutes in front of a camera. Actually, a lot of the lads, and I don't want to speak on the personal issues or anything, but a lot of the lads, including myself, struggle mentally with a lot of stuff that's ongoing in life. So whoever it is who's watching, you ain't the only one. Believe me, you're not the only one. So speak to people. It helps. As much as people don't want to, and they want to be stubborn, and they want to just, no, I've got these issues. I'm going to bear this burden. Just speak to a friend, your mum, your sister, whatever it is. It just helps. It does. And I would always advise that. Okay, bringing it slightly back. UTFR, why would anyone want to go to Chelsea other than for a 10-year contract? Liverpool have signed Chiesa, touched on that. Sam saying the plan is 10k subs, my damned, and creating a Discord group or something along the line so everyone can interact after the shows. Still, I also think as well, merch is a big thing that we want to do. And I think Sam's got some great ideas, so that is definitely something we want to put out there. But when we start getting to 10k, and yeah, I think we can do it. I mean, I'd love to do a live show, but we're nowhere near that kind of stuff yet. And when we get to 100k, that's when we'll start. But I could love to do a live show and just like, yeah, that's a dream of mine. Chiesa to Liverpool for peanuts. Also, will he play? Doesn't Salah play in his position? Chiesa could play across the front line. Well, he could play either wing. So, just coming in for depth. United should ask for Fabio Mariti as part of the Sancho deal with Juve. Maybe there is something, like I said before, there's something going on behind closed doors, a bit of a surprise I'm expecting. Just keep an eye on that one with Sancho. I think Friday I might drink all day watching the transfer news. Oh, that's water, Alex, that you're drinking. If you could sign one more player within reason, nothing impossible, who would you sign? Who would I sign? Within reason. Who's available on the market at the minute? I'm sat there thinking, don't even know. I'd like to bring in a striker, you know. But Ivan Toney's the only one, really, who's there or thereabouts. I wouldn't mind Ivan Toney, because I do think we need goals, and that's evident from the start of the season. But Rabiot as well is another one I'd like to bring in. Left-footed midfielder, extra depth and steel. You think, now, I was listening to something last night, and they're saying we're probably going to be playing around 70 games. 70 to 80 games. That was on Chelsea, actually, but they're playing the Club World Cup. So maybe that's why they're playing a little bit more. But around 70 games, so you're going to need a lot of players. Survival of the fittest, remember. That's what Katana keeps saying. If, as reported, buying someone now impacts next season, do you stop or go for one more signing? I think that is a good question. The good questions are always ones that are tricky to answer. I think we've got enough, but I thought that last season, and you saw the injuries that we have, and you're like, oh my God, we should have got this guy, we should have got this one. The left-back one, I'm not as fussed about because the budget didn't cover it, and I didn't just want to bring in someone for the sake of it. Like a Marcus Alonso or a Hermoso, or someone like that, I just see it as a nothing kind of signing. So I don't just want to bring players in who suit what we want to do. And I'm happy with the window, like I said. So, no, I don't think you should just bring it. If Toney becomes available 30 mil, let's say, and they've got a little bit of wiggle room, or they've got Sancho's wages off the books, and they could do that, then do it. But, yeah. Question, Nick. I think you could be bringing us loads of news lives on Friday, get a good night's sleep on Thursday night. Yeah, I'm going to be busy. To be fair, with it being deadline day, I'll probably be active. I'll probably do 3 or 4 shows on Friday. We have done sometimes, like, cover the window, but we'll see. We'll see what Friday cooks up. More and more comments. You agree, Dan? I reckon Nick might be on 3 lives on Friday. If it is what it is. I'm happy to sit here and chat with you guys, so it's not like it's work or anything. Never true word, mate. I survived my suicide 3 years ago. Nick's right, just reach out if you're struggling. It's the bravest thing. Oh, wow. You make me emotional, man. Don't do that. Yeah, anyone struggling with anything at all. That's what these kind of communities are for. And people might slander me for this or whatever, but I don't care. That's when you have like a community where you can speak to people, even if it's like virtual. Because let's be honest, the majority of people in the chat right now don't even know what each other look like, really. They don't know. So it's speaking to someone who there's no judgment there. There's no like, oh, what about this and what about that? It's just straight up. You're gonna get what it is, honesty, and honesty is the best policy. Is what they say. I'd buy a tee with Nick attacking a Greg's on the front. Well, we'll keep that idea locked away for when we release merch. Nick, in a film of your life, which actor would you want to play? These questions are so good today, so good. In a who would I? Do you know what? When I was younger, I'd say, do you remember in the original Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire? Do you know when he turns evil? I always got compared to that. And I don't see it now, but when I was younger, I was like, maybe, because I had a bit like longer hair and stuff. So maybe Tobey Maguire would be a good one, I'd say. I think he did a really good job in, what's that film? He's in a film with Jake Gyllenhaal, and he's in Afghanistan, and he comes back, and he's got really bad PTSD, and he finds out that his brother, spoiler alert, by the way, for no one who's seen it, in 3, 2, 1, his brother is sleeping with his wife, and he just goes nuts. Great film. I can't remember the name of the film. Locatelli, potential swap deal. Interesting, Rocky Singh. That's a great shout. Juventus are trying to accelerate their move for Jadon Sancho. Yeah, just read that out before. I'm just going to scroll down because there's that many comments. Please do leave a like on the video if you're just joining, if you're live. I know some of you already have. But yeah, subscribe as well. We're 3 of 6,666. It's a devil right there. My hope is that Chelsea are showing interest in Toney to scare us into a Sterling deal, and we say, fuck that, shock the world and get Toney. I've read all this stuff, yeah. Very hot hours from the Mats. I'm sick of these terminologies, honestly. Nick, would you rather have hands for feet or feet for hands? Ooh. I'm thinking that my feet are massive. I've got like size 10 feet, so having them on my hands. Imagine being sat at like a date with a girl, and I've got a girlfriend that's been with 7 years, so this is a hypothetical situation. If you got a size 10 foot, and you're like that, sat on the desk, looking at her, it's just going to look dead odd in it. So I would rather have hand for feet, I reckon. Yeah. I don't know, it'd be a bit of a weird sensation though, wouldn't it? But maybe you'd be more balanced. More spread out, innit? I don't know. Yeah. Nick, sorry, I read that out. I'm going through shit times, not nice, and the legend in this chat asking me if I'm okay is really nice. Love everyone, thank you. Well, you're very welcome. Jarhead, yes, great film. Imagine the right hook you could throw. Yeah, serious, mate. Oh my god. Film is Brothers, yeah, that's it, not Jarhead. Yeah, Punch Paint, you're absolutely spot on. Nick, are you a morning or a night owl? Night owl. To be honest, I'm both. I don't sleep much. So I probably go to bed about 2, woke up this morning about 8, I want to say. So, yeah, 6 hours sleep. But I struggle to sleep, to be fair. So I'm a bit of both. But I do like that period at night. So my girlfriend usually goes to bed probably around 12 o'clock. And it's a 2-hour period where, she'll probably kill me for saying this, where it's just quiet and peace. And I'll put on my headphones, I'll do a bit of editing, I'll do a graphic, or, I'll do some research, or I'll listen to a podcast. Like I was listening to Carl Anker and David Ornstein last night, talking about the Sancho situation. Just little things like that. Just 2 hours. Nick, are you going to try for Oasis tickets? To be honest, mate, I think a lot of people are going to struggle. They're going to be like gold dust. They're going to be worse than Glastonbury tickets. And Glastonbury tickets are solid to get. So I think you have to know insiders to get those tickets, or be extremely quick. Because Talp's going to be all over that. Nick doesn't sleep 5 days a week to bring us all the content and stuff. Yeah, I don't have the best sleep, but my brain's still working at the moment. Juventus have already sent their offer of a pure loan, with United paying part of the players' wages on Sunday, the Italian club. Yeah, I mean, look, can I just say... No, I'm not insinuating that. Can I just say, yeah, the Juventus, if they think they're just going to get him on loan and do a load of nonsense for this Sancho move, they can get to fuck. Just pay the money, or you don't get him. Or do a loan with obligation and you can have him. Fine. But they've just got pennies for Chiesa, so I don't imagine they're going to be offering anything big. But we'll wait and see how that situation develops, people, because like I said, we're going to be live again at 7 o'clock. So I'm sure we'll have some more news. Then make sure you do come and join us. I've got to go record this video as well for the members, so keep an eye out for that. I'm going to go do that. There's a couple of clips that need to be edited as well, so busy day today. So turn on your notification bell so you don't miss a thing when I do go live. Should notify you, especially some transfer news, and keep an eye out for that video dropping. And yeah, everyone, stay safe, look after yourselves, speak to people if you have problems, and yeah, any comments you want to leave about the transfer window, United in general, then please do. Appreciate every single one of you and the interaction constantly. You're all a bunch of legends. So I'll see you at 7 o'clock. Yeah?